Now let's go back and see why DeepSeek is so well known. DeepSeek is famous for coding and debugging. Let's try to explore that. I'm just going back to the interface and trying to provide some code. In order to add 10 numbers specifically in Python, a program to. I'm just randomly prompting it, so it's thinking and will take some time to generate a response. Let's see what answer it gives. It's trying to think on its own, just like how humans work. If someone asks you something, you think in your mind about how to approach that particular problem. You can read it here. It says, okay, the user wants me to provide Python code that adds 10 numbers. Let me think about how to approach this. So, this is generally how the human brain works, and that's how the thinking is happening here. But we can actually see how it's thinking. The steps are also being shown here, and it's trying to give the sample code, initializing total to 0 using a for loop, asking the user for numbers and then summing them all up. See, this is what the Python code looks like. Now, it's also showing us an example of how to use it. Enter the numbers 1, 2, 3, up to 10 inputs, and the sum will be displayed like this. Now I'll ask, can you execute it? Let's see how it will respond, in what ways the code has been provided to us, but we should also check whether it can execute the code by itself and give us an answer. Here it is. It says, I can't execute code directly, but I can help you test the code conceptually. That means we'll trace the code, right? When we write something, we'll try to trace it with random input. If we don't have a machine with us, we'll try to write out every iteration and manually trace the code. In the same way, it's trying to give a sample run to show how it would look. So, if you input these numbers, the code will output the sum of those numbers. It's also providing instructions on how you can run the code. It's trying to be an assistant. And what you've noticed here is that it takes a little more time to think about what prompt was given and how it should respond. It thought for 18 seconds. It took about 19 seconds for the previous prompt, right? Let me ask the system. I have found an issue in the code. I need to add fractions as well, which isn't possible. Do you agree? I'm just trying to have a conversation with DeepSeek to see how it will respond. There's absolutely no problem with that, but I'm trying to confuse the system by saying I need to add fractions too, even though the code isn't that efficient. Do you agree, or what is your output? It's thinking again, as you can see, just walking through it here. It's considering potential issues. What if the user inputs numbers? That's fine. But what if it's letters, multiple slashes, symbols, etc.? It can't sum those, right? It can't add them numerically. So, how do you handle this? That's where error handling comes in, which it's thinking about now. Previously, there was no error handling. If I had given the input A, B, C, D to this code, it would go into an infinite loop or just exit. But now, error handling comes into play. So, if you want to support fraction inputs like 1/2, 3/4, etc., the original code would fail because float can't parse fraction strings directly. Let's fix this to handle both decimals and fractions. So now, it's trying to extract the information both ways. whether it's whole numbers or fractions. What if there's an error? How do you handle it? There is no proper error handling present. Furthermore, it is not at all efficient. I can input code, and I can input alphabets as well. So, I'm just trying to see how well it can support and understand our queries. You can see it took about 82 seconds to analyze my prompt. So always make sure, when training or working with these kinds of models, you have to be very precise. They won't assume what you want. You have to specify it in your prompt. That's why prompt engineering is so important. For example, I should have said, give me code to add whole numbers and fractions and avoid unnecessary alphabet symbols, etc. Please provide code with error handling. If I had done that, it would have given me everything at once. Why did I give you step-by-step prompting? Because the system can't think for itself about how efficient or optimized the code should be. You have to provide the input to make it efficient and optimized. Now, you can see there are a lot of error handling options available here. So, if you try to input something other than numbers, it says invalid fraction format, use numerator over denominator. If it's a whole number and the denominator can't be 0, that's another error handling option. This is how it works. You can also see a sample execution here. It just traced the output, it didn't execute it, but tracing is provided. This is how debugging and coding work in DeepSeek.
If you enjoyed this video, you can enroll in Great Learning Academy for free. Choose from hundreds of courses across multiple domains and earn a certificate of completion along the way. And if you want to take it a step further, you can try Great Learning Academy Pro Plus with a free trial. It provides access to additional premium courses with more advanced content from distinguished faculty, along with features like guided projects, a resume builder, and mock interviews to make your learning journey even richer. Link is in the description.